A lot of people think that Bridon arc was confusing, slow, and unnecessary. I like to think that misunderstanding is exactly why it might be the most important arc Link has ever done. Before we start, a quick warning. This video contains full spoilers for Link, including the Bridon arc. If you haven't watched the entire series yet, stop here. The Bridon arc is an arc that only makes sense after you have seen everything else. Plus, given how great the show is, I would hate to spoil it for you. Now, with that out of the way, the Bridon arc is easily the most controversial part of Link. Some people call it confusing, some say it's badly paced, others say it has plot holes, unnecessary fan service, or weaker animation. And the criticism was loud. Most people said it's confusing, it feels slow. Why does it feel like slice of life? And is it BL fan service? Is it boiler fan service? The animation looked worse, and why is nothing explained? But I genuinely believe the Bridon arc is far better than people give it credit for, and in some ways even stronger than season 2. The problem isn't the arc itself, the problem is how people understood what it was supposed to be. First, let's establish facts. The Bridon arc is a prequel. Everything that happens here takes place before season 1 and season 2. However, and this is very important, the context for this arc is established at the end of season 2. Chronologically, everything that happens in the Bridon arc takes place years before season 1, before the photo studio opens, before the partnership we know, and before the rules of time travel are fully established. This alone explains why so many felt lost, and at the end of season 2 we learn something devastating. Spoiler alert. Cheng Xiaozi is dead, and Lu Gong has done the unthinkable. He goes against his own rules. He has traveled back in time 3 years prior in an attempt to save Cheng Xiaozi. So what is the plot actually about? On the surface, Bridon arc seems to be about the Bahati fire, Cheng Xiaozi's parents, a new group of antagonists, strange supernatural incidents in Bridon, and Cheng Xiaozi investigating events connected to Bridon. And of course, the most important thing, the core of it all, Lu Guang trying to save Cheng Xiaozi. But that's not it. Internally, Bridon arc is also about Lu Guang's state of mind. By this point in the timeline, Lu Guang has already experienced repeated failures. He has already tried to change outcomes and failed. AKA, he tried to save Cheng Xiaozi multiple times, but failed many times. He has already seen people die despite his efforts. So he reaches a terrifying conclusion that death might be predetermined. The Bridon arc is Lu Guang testing that belief. This arc is also where the point of view shifts. In the seasons 1 and 2, the emotional POV is mostly Cheng Xiaozi's. In the Bridon arc, however, the POV shifts heavily to Lu Guang. That shift alone explains why the arc feels so different. When timelines start deviating, Lu Guang assumes the cause is his own interference, the butterfly effect of his actions. But that assumption is wrong. That is something we learn later on. Later on, it is confirmed by staff and interviews that the real cause of these deviations is another time traveler, Cheng Xiaozi's mother, who went back in time to save her husband. But Lu Guang doesn't know this, and that misunderstanding is very critical, because everything he does in Bridon arc is based on incomplete and incorrect information. I think so. So why did this arc wasn't as loved as much as the previous seasons, despite being, I would say, far better than season 2 at least. Maybe not as good as season 1, but way far better season 2, and actually way better than people give it credit for. I think this is my theory. The biggest reason is expectation. Most viewers assume that Bridon arc would either continue season 2's momentum, answer it cliffhangers, resolve conflicts, and more or less have the same tone. Instead, they got a prequel, which definitely made a lot of people not take it seriously and just brush it off as just a slice of life prequel. Plus, again, as I said, the tone did not help either. Link was known for high tension, thriller pacing, constant stakes, emotional gut punches. The Bridon arc, by contrast, leans heavily into slice of life, quiet character moments, slower pacing, and emotional intimacy. For a prequel, this might make sense. for weekly viewers expecting another season 2 escalation, it more or less did not. A lot of people didn't take the arc seriously because it felt calm and even cozy at sometimes. Second, confusion. This arc deliberately introduces new abilities, multiple supernatural actors, timeline deviations, events that contradict what Li Gong expects. And crucially, very little is explained immediately. Fragmented information and more questions than answers. This led to accusations of plot holes, inconsistent rules, and messy writing. But these aren't plot holes, they are intentional gaps. The audience is confused because Luke Wong is confused himself. There were some animation errors later on confirmed by the production team, by the staff. There were some production inconsistencies because they did change the fucking studio, and there were again intentionally unresolved setups. Now, for and some people, these are very few people, but there were some complaints about this. So I thought I should mention that too. The complaints were about the tone. Some felt the arc leaned too heavily into BL or fan service, boiler fan service. Some viewers felt the arc leaned too much into cute boys, emotional closeness, intimate framing. And for a show like this would probably make sense because I believe more or less this show is targeted toward women. And I kid you not, this show was recommended to me by a woman. And all the biggest fans of this show were women. Even though, don't take me wrong. Am I clipping the audio? Holy fuck. Oh shit. Where was I? Yeah, some viewers felt the arc leaned too much into cute boys, emotional closeness, intimate framing. Others felt the emotional focus distracted from the plot. But this arc isn't about external stakes. It's about internal collapse. Link Click has always been an emotionally intimate story. This arc just removes the constant threat long enough for that intimacy to breathe. The closeness, the emotional intensity, the fixation, all of it reinforces how deeply Lo Guang is attached and how far he is willing to go to avoid loss. Fourth, the animation. Yes, there are animation errors, color inconsistencies were confirmed as production mistakes. The arc had an extremely tight schedule with animation still being completed close to release, and also that the studio is changing. That also and still does worries a lot of fans. But this wasn't a downgrade of the series, and honestly, the Bridon arc's animation, especially in its OP and ED and character acting, is far more restrained and cinematic than season 2. Personally, I think the Bridon arc looks better than season 2, not worse. The art is way better. I do love the color scheme. Finally, there was a panic over a comment about giving the story a happy ending. Many fans interpreted this as meaning no more tragedy, no consequences, a softened narrative. But Link Ling has never defined happy as painless. It means emotional resolution, not the absence of suffering. Plus, the creator himself did say we aren't getting a happy ending, so there's that. Here's the truth. The Bridon arc is a setup arc. It exists to reframe the rules of time travel and transform Liu Guang from a reactive character into an active one. This arc establishes that Liu Guang does not have perfect control, that multiple time travelers exist, that abilities can emerge, transfer, or disappear, that interfering with fate creates unstable timelines. Liu Guang believes death is a fixed note. Episode 6 makes this explicit. Liu Guang doesn't know how events will end, he doesn't have perfect information. So instead of reacting, he gambles. He orchestrates events based on probability, like a Rube Goldberg machine knowing it might fail. And even when it works, the result isn't clean. Wayne returns to life. New conflicts are created and the consequences spill directly into season 3. Nothing here is wasted. The Bridon arc introduces supernatural systems beyond forward time travel. The idea that abilities can be transferred or taken away, characters with hidden agendas, and long-term mysteries tied to Bahati and Cheng Wei Min, Cheng Zhaozi's father. I'm pretty sure I said both of those names wrong. Explaining all of this would now weaken the story. Plus, it's not even a season. Nothing is supposed to be explained. It's just a fucking prequel arc. The confusion is not a flaw, which kinda is the point. That's why questions are left unanswered. That's why conflicts don't explode yet. Once you understand that the Britain arc is a prequel foundation, not a complete season with a payoff, everything clicks into place. It's not weaker than the other seasons, it's quieter, more deliberate, and far more ambitious. This arc exists so future seasons can hit harder, and without it, season 3 simply wouldn't work. Personally, I like the Britain arc more than the other seasons. Okay, maybe another season 1. I liked Britain arc way more than I liked season 2. If season 1 made me think this show is great, then the Britain arc solidified me as a fan. And I'm not alone. The first 2 seasons did not make the show that popular, but the Bridon arc did. It brought in new fans, it put Link Click on the map. And as someone who wasn't even interested in Chinese anime before, this arc changed that. Shows like Link Click and To Be Hero X completely shifted my perspective. The last anime that made me feel this excited to see what comes next was Attack on Titan. And I consider Attack on Titan the best anime of the 21st century so far. So that's saying a lot. So to anyone still on the fence, still hesitant about Chinese anime, I get it. I was you. But get over it. You're missing out. China is already making waves in gaming. And if they keep delivering stories like this, they won't just be contenders, they will be major players in the anime industry. Plus, given the state of anime that is coming out of Japan now, and their handling of popular fan favorite IPs, you know which anime I'm talking about. Will China replace Japan? Is there a future where all the biggest animes are coming out of China and not Japan? Probably not, unless Japan really fumbles hard. Like 2 more years of how they performed this year, and I'm pretty sure China will start to take over anime. I'm talking every other anime that comes out of Japan has to be One Punch Man season 3 level bad. And at the same time, China would have to drop bangers after bangers for that to happen. For hardcore diehard battle-tested views to say, you know what, I want to go to China now. I want a Chinese girlfriend now. Because these are the kind of guys who are keeping the industry alive. Until then, I don't see that happening. But one thing I am certain about, if China continues to bestow upon us bangers like To Be Hero X and Link Click, China will be a great contender, not only a contender but a major, big player in the anime industry. They got the resources, they got the motivation now, and of course they also have a big fan base. So I don't know anything is stopping them other than people who are hesitant to move or give them a chance. And to be honest, good for us anime lovers, more anime for us. And I surely look forward to that. That's all I had to say. I will see you in the next video. And in the meantime, give Chinese anime a chance, give Link Click a chance, because it has no right being this underrated. I will see you guys later. Peace.